Oh, oh, oh. साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। Oh, humble pranams at the lotus feet of our beloved Sai, our mother, our father, our guru, our friend, and our guide, who's with us every moment of our lives in the time that goes by, and in whose contemplation we started this satsang, wherein we get to hear of the wonderful experiences, the interactions, and the lessons by devotees across the time that Swami walked past amidst us. And we have Auntie, we have Auntie Shailaja Krishnamurti here today, again with us to recount those wonderful moments where all I can think about are those waves that came and offered all those pearls and those um amazing gifts to Swami at Kanyakumari. We have also had a taste of that wonderful lineage of music that has brought the divinity through various songs and bhajans that have been sung at the divine lotus feet. And 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 we are also fortunate to have her again with us this week. And as excited as you are, I am to hear beyond the time of how Swami came into their lives through the time of her father, who was originally based in the state of Kerala, subsequently became the state president of the Satya Sai Seva organization of Karnataka. And as excited as I am, I suppose you are as well. So, looking forward to hearing part two of the satsang today. Sairam Auntie, and waiting to hear your voice with a few bhajans as well, and also those wonderful moments of nectar. Sairam.
Sai Ram. Let me offer my prayers to Bhagwan. At the lotus feet of my beloved Bhagwan, I offer my humble prayers and pranams. And Sai Ram to all my Sai sisters and brothers who have been listening to my satsang last week as well as today. And I'm so happy to be here once again with you all. And I must really thank Brother Venkat as well as Satya for having made this possible, and I'm really happy to be with you all once again. Sai Ram. Let me start today's satsang by just singing one or two bhajans, which are my mother's compositions. Narayanam bhaj Narayanam, Narayanam bhaj Narayanam, Narayanam Satyanarayanam, Narayanam Sai Narayanam, Narayanam bhaj Narayanam. तव पाद शरणं नारायणं शेषशयनं नारायणम् आदिशेषशयनं नारायणं नारायणं श्रीमन्नारायणं नारायणं सत्यनारायणं नारायणं साई नारायणं नारायणं श्रीमन्नारायणं नारायणं सत्यनारायणं नारायणं साई नारायणम्. दर्शन दीजो भगवान, दर्शन दीजो भगवान, परम दयाळो भगवान, परम दयाळो भगवान, दर्शन दीजो भगवान, आदि अनंत अद्भुत रूप, आदि अनंत अद्भुत रूप, आनंद दाता आश्रित वत्सल, आनंद दाता आश्रित वत्सल, प्रेम स्वरूपा शांति प्रदाता, सच्चिदानंद श्री सत्य साईश, सच्चिदानंद श्री सत्य साईश, दर्शन दीजो भगवान, परम दयाळो भगवान. These two compositions are by my mother, and of course she has composed quite a few. Of course, some other time I think I sing for you. Anyway, first I will just quote from Swami's words. These are from Swami's words. God is love. His infinite compassion makes him change our prarabdha karma, or the karmic effects of our past lives. All you need to do is to pray with an unwavering faith and surrender to him. I'll read once again because these are really important things that we should always remember. God is love. His infinite compassion makes him change our prarabdha karma, or the karmic effects of your past lives. All you need to do is to pray with an unwavering faith and surrender to him. So listening to that is what Swami has said. I unquote. Listening to others speaking about their experiences will, I am sure, only reaffirm and reassure this faith and belief in Swami. So to that extent, I think we'll all benefit from whatever experiences or satsang we have all had from different people. And it's all a great blessing from Swami. And I can only say that those who have come into Swami's fold, it's really a blessing. It is his sankalpa. And I would even say, he himself said, they are my chosen tools and instruments to have this blessing from Swami. And for that, what we need is that unshakable faith, belief, and surrender. That is what we need to ask Swami to give us, that unshakable faith, belief, and surrender to Him. Everything's Swami. Whatever good or bad is all Swami's sankalpa. Saira. So I'm really happy to be back again, sharing the experiences from where I left. Some of you may remember, of course, my bhajan journey started in Mrs. Damodar's place. And of course, bhajans and satsang were being continuously held in Mrs. Damodar's place. It was about, always it would be at about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And I was quite regular in attending those sessions. And of course, after a few weeks or months, maybe, minor surgery had to be performed, and I had to go to Bangalore. I had some gynec problem, so that surgery was performed in Bangalore, and I came back. I seemed to be quite okay, but very soon, of course, I used to drive myself. I used to go to Damodar's house place, park the car, go up this, because the satsang was being held in the first floor. So I would go participate in the satsang, then bhajans, everything, and then I would come back home. So this was going on very regularly. So even after this small surgery, which I had to undergo, I was continuing all my activities. Then one fine day, I developed some flu-like symptoms, It was mild fever accompanied by cough, cold, slight wheezing, everything, it was there. But I didn't really particularly mind about it. I thought I must continue with my bhajan activities. So as usual, I would go there. Same things would happen. Park the car, go up, participate, and come back. And but very soon, this cough led to my bringing out blood. So whenever I coughed, blood would come out. And for 1 or 2 days, I must have ignored it, saying that something must have happened, that's all. I really did not think it was a serious situation or anything. I ignored it. But this happened continuously. Then my husband also got worried. Then he said, no, we cannot continue like this. We must seek doctor's attention. So we went to our family physician. Then hearing my problem and everything, and especially the surgery that I had undergone, this gynec problem I had in Bangalore, and the surgery that I had to undergo later on. So he heard that, and maybe he was a really good physician. He must have really foreseen all these things happening. So he put me on to thoracic, lung and thoracic surgeon. And Dr. Sanjeevi, he was a very great specialist of those days. So I went to him and I described all my symptoms and everything, all my past history, everything. Then he had some x-rays and blood work done. So everything was done, and he looked at it and immediately said, no, this is again a gynec problem that needs attention from a gynecologist. And so you please go to a gynecologist. And he put me on to one Dr. Indra Ramamurthy. She was really a famous gynecologist of those days. You must have heard Dr. B. Ramamurthy. He was a neurologist. He was also one of the leading neurologists of those days. And Mrs. Indra Ramamurthy was his wife. And I went to her. Then looking at my x-rays and everything, she immediately said, of course, she didn't discuss everything in detail with me, but asked for a minor procedure You must have all heard of D&C, it is called in a gynec term. And so that was, that was required to be done. So she said, I have to admit you into a hospital for this. It's a very simple procedure, but I definitely want your parents to come over immediately. So of course, we really didn't think why she was asking my parents to come, and all these things really didn't look serious to us at all. My husband got in touch with my parents. They were in Bangalore, fortunately. And in fact, my father was working there. So that day, in fact, so they had performed Satyanarayana Puja at home. So after the puja only, this call has gone through. And when my husband said, you must come immediately, their first reaction was to go to Swami, get his permission, because without Swami's permission, they didn't want to leave Bangalore and come away. Because as responsible office bearers, they are supposed to inform Swami all their, whenever they are out of town. So it was afternoon, they went to Whitefield. Usually at that time of the day, Swami will not come out. We all know. Bhajan was over, darshan was over, and Swami would have had his lunch. And so that was usually, we all know that he doesn't come out at odd hours. But still, I don't know what made my parents stand at the gate that is closer to his residence. There was a gate there, which was obviously closed, but they felt that they can stand there and wait for Swami for some time and praying for Swami's blessings. Really, we are lucky. Swami came out and said, usually, as I told you, he would always speak to us in Kannada. So he asked my parents, in samachara, as though he doesn't know anything. In samachara. That means, what is the matter? What is the problem? Then my parents also did not have any details. All they said was, we had a phone call from my son-in-law. He wants us to come immediately because my daughter has a health issue. So we want to go, Swami. I want your blessings. And immediately, you know what Swami has said? Tumba Santosha. That's what he usually says. You know? Swami always says Tumba Santosha. Yeah. He knows that. He knows why he says that. Even when once we fell out of the car and that was informed to Swami, he said Tumba Santosha. So that is how he gives us this assurance that nothing to worry. So then when Swami, of course, immediately Swami has said, yes, I know. Doctors will tell big names. That means that disease which is there doctors will call it by big names, but and they will ask for a lot of money in the form of fees, consultation, treatment, whatnot. So, but I am her doctor, do not worry. And immediately he materialized Vibhuti and asked my parents to take it to Chennai and give it to me. They were really totally perplexed because they didn't have any idea what was going on with my health here. So they took the earliest opportunity. They came. And when they met Indra Ramurthy, my husband was also there. Of course, they did not discuss, the full details of my problem in front of me for obvious reasons. I was just about, I think, 20, 22 years old. So perhaps they didn't want to discuss everything with me so that I'll get a big shock. But all she has said is, yes, because of this gynec problem she had in Bangalore and the surgery that followed, she has developed secondaries in the lungs, which is called cannonball shadow. And the medical term is choriocarcinoma. It's a cancerous tumor, one big tumor. It developed in my left lung. and the X-rays were showing that. And she also said it is definitely a gynec issue. We cannot do any surgery or anything to remove that tumor, because this particular tumor has to be dealt with only with oral medicines, which are of course very powerful medicines, which we didn't know about the seriousness of that medicine also. Our family doctor said, in fact, the medicine is more serious than the disease itself. That's what he had to tell about this particular medicine. Anyway, it was being it had to be treated only with oral medicines called methotrexate. I remember the name also. It was being, that was to be administered to me. But she said, after this DNC operation, we will confirm everything, and I will have to admit her into an hospital to get started, because everything has to be under doctor's supervision and constant care. So she cannot just come away and be in the house or anything, just because we are giving her oral medicines, because the platelet counts, the blood count, the hemoglobin, everything can drastically go down. So blood transfusion and some emergency medicines would have to be administered. So she has to be in the hospital. So, okay, under her advice, they admitted me. In fact, the very word she said was, yeah, this is a serious disease. I didn't know about this until later on my mother shared everything with me. Maybe my husband knew about everything, because all three of them were present with the doctor. And the word she said was, keep her happy. These are the words that Indira Ramurthy told my parents, keep her happy. So I didn't know what that meant actually. And of course, when I was, then for the first dose of medicines, I was admitted to Isabel Hospital, and it was administered there. And then, as ill luck would have it, she had to go away. She had to be out of the country for a few months. So she said she's going to put me on to her guru, one Dr. Madhavi Amma, and she's the specialist in this particular, dealing with these ovarian cancers. So she said she will treat you only in a place called Pandale Nursing Home in Punamalli High Road. I don't know those who are familiar with Chennai. These are all known familiar places: Punamalli High Road and Mylapore and Isabel Hospital. And then I was admitted there. Of course, the treatment continued. She also agreed that we should continue the medicines that she had prescribed me, Indira Ramurthy had prescribed, should be continued. And there was no question of any surgery. So she started the medicines. But I continued bringing out blood. So we got thoroughly, confused, and we didn't know how to proceed, because we didn't know the seriousness of the disease. So how would react it? How the medicines would react? How would I react to the medicines? Nothing we knew. Nor did Dr. Madhavi Amma discuss all this with us. She was a little, strict lady. I would put it that way. So my parents were not very happy, nor my in-laws. So my father-in-law had a lot of, influence in CMC Hospital, Vellore. So they decided to shift me to CMC Vellore. So overnight, we took all our records and we went away to CMC Vellore. There also they examined me and said, yeah, this is exactly the same procedure has to be continued. There is no question of any surgery or anything, but she has to be in the hospital, and the medicines would be given only for about 2-3 days. After that, the blood count will go down. In a day, you will not believe, they would take my blood at least 5 to 6 times. And by Swami's grace, it had not gone to such a level that I needed blood transfusion or platelet transfusion or anything of that sort. So everything would automatically, come to a normalcy within a few hours. So that was all not required. All Swami's grace, I suppose. This is what Swami said when he said, I am her doctor, I will look after her. So this continued, and our patience was really coming to an end. My son was a small boy. He was just about 2.5, 3 years old. Very young to even know what the mother was undergoing. Nothing, poor thing. He didn't know anything. He was in Chennai and I was in Vellore. My husband would bring him periodically to look me up, and he would also come along in the car. And my father was in Bangalore because he was also working. My mother was with me in the hospital, and we had a private room for ourselves. But as you know, cooking was not allowed inside the room. But the hospital food was not quite suitable for me. So my mother they decided to rent out a house outside the hospital. And she was cooking there and bringing it for me. So either my husband or my father would alternate and be with her, so that she could be taken to the house and brought back to the hospital. So all this was going on. And periodically, my mother would discuss with the doctor, doctor, what do we do now? Is it showing any signs of regress? Is it coming down? Is that tumor, becoming less and less? And how many more months do you think we would have to be in the hospital here in CMC? Everything was expensive. Everything, all, my husband's leave and my father's leave, everything was being exhausted, and they're all coming without pay. They were all, coming to help me out without pay. And finally, when my mother asked the doctor, how many more months do you think this will, for my daughter to recover completely? But all she said was, we have absolutely no idea, because in the whole of CMC Vellore, history of that hospital, that well-known hospital, they had seen only one patient with similar disease and the reactions. So they had no idea what would happen. But that patient, unlike she had passed away. I think within a few months of admission, she died. So of course they didn't want to openly say, but all they would tell my mother was, it may take months together for her to get fully all right, and we have absolutely no idea about this disease yet. So let us hope for the best. So that's all they could share with my mother. So like this, 3 months passed. 3 months, long months passed, and I am in the hospital. And I was always worried, because by then I was also getting to know more details about the disease, whether I would survive. All these things had, started appearing within me, all these doubts and pain and everything that accompanies all these ailments. And but I would not show anything outside to my mother, because my mother was also a very sensitive lady. So if I start, pouring out my grief in front of her, she may become even more, sad. So I didn't want to share anything with her. But at the same time, I would always, think about my little son. What will he do? What will happen if I am not there? So these were the thoughts that were going in my mind. And every day this was the same thing, three to 4 days of medicine. But I want to tell you one thing. This methotrexate which they were administering was always tasting like vibhuti for me. You know, that vibhuti smell only I used to get whenever they gave me the medicines. And periodically, of course, my father was in touch with Swami. He would always go there for his blessings. And as usual, Swami would always say, why do you worry? Yatikke ninge yochane. That is the usual sentence he used to say. Ninige yake yochane. Why are you worried? I am with her. I am her doctor. This is all he would say and console my father. Materialize vibhuti. Go give it to her. These were the things that Swami would tell my father. And he in turn would give it to me. And this was what was happening in the hospital. So 3 long months passed, and all of us were getting exhausted. You know, in every way we were getting exhausted. So finally, one fine day, my mother asked me one question. Of course, my father was not there at that moment. My mother just asked me a plain question. Shailu, this is how she used to call me. Shailu, do you believe in Swami? Amma, why do you ask me this question? Of course, I do believe in Swami. Then she said, see, Shailu, we have spent 3 long months in this hospital, and doctors are not giving us any hope that it will definitely be all right and you will get back home. Nothing of this assurance is coming from them. So don't you think we should do something? She gave me the solution also. She said, let's go to Puttaparthi. Let's fall at his feet. Then when my father returned, we told him, this is what we want to do. And she asked me, if you have the belief, we'll do this. And in fact, my husband was not even there that day. When my father came, we told him, and he was not really willing to do this because his way of approach was a little different. He thought, you know, we have gone to one particular hospital under one doctor that we had to give up. And we have gone to another doctor. So that also we had to give up. And we have now come to CMC Vellore. So if you are going to leave this hospital and go to Puttaparthi and something happens, I mean, ill luck would have it. Where are we going next? We won't have any other place, nor any other doctor to take care. So this was the fear that my father really was undergoing. So he was not very happy at this proposal of going to Puttaparthi immediately. Because all he thought was, Swami is assuring us periodically, every time he's saying, I am her doctor, I am her doctor, I am with her. So why do you doubt? Why do you have these things coming into your mind? But then my mother was quite adamant. She said, Shailu, if anything is to happen, let it happen under his feet. This is exactly the word she told me. I 100% agreed with her. I had also come to that, that state of mind that things are not going in the right direction because the tumor was regressing. It was becoming smaller. But after a certain stage, it was static. It wouldn't, become smaller anymore. So this is the time when they were saying that we don't know how many more months it will take. Then we had to take the permission of the doctor. Because doctors were not at all happy with this situation of leaving the hospital and going to some unknown place without any attention. And they were not willing to, give permission at all. Then my mother was quite vocal. She said, like CMC hospital, as you all know, is a Christian hospital. So she said very openly, Like you have Jesus as your God. We have a God in Puttaparthi whom we believe. He is the avatar. He will do things that we are praying for. So please let us go. Then she said, okay, if that is, but you are taking the patient at your risk, at your own risk. So I will allow you after some blood work is all done. If it is satisfactory, I will let you all go. So it was about afternoon. Again, blood work was done and not very satisfactory, but they said, okay, you can be away from the hospital for just a day. Then you come back. And, that particular time, the CMC hospital X-ray machines were all, there were a lot of machines, some 7, 8 machines were there. But for some reason, I think they had some problems with those machines. So they said, it'll be nice if you can get an X-ray done as quickly as possible in Bangalore, where you're on your return, and come back to the hospital as soon as possible. So, okay, we decided to leave the hospital. And my father was driving the car, myself and my mother, just the three of us left for Puttaparthi. In fact, my father, I believe, contacted some person, and he was told that Swami is in Puttaparthi. But later on, they have tried to call us and tell us that Swami is not there, please do not come. So they didn't know where Swami had gone actually. In fact, but I think he had gone only to Anantapur. So anyway, the call we missed out receiving was not to come, but we had already left the hospital, and I think we were on the way to Puttaparthi. So the moment we reached Puttaparthi, Kutumbarao, Sri Kutumbarao, I don't know how many of you know Sri Kutumbarao, he was waiting for us. And he told my father, Dr. Keshava Rao, Swami has instructed me to give you all a special room, and so please come with me. And he took us to a special accommodation where this Pathashala, I don't know how many of you all know this Pathashala, where the Pathashala was. It was on a small hillock there, right behind Prashanti Nilayam, Swami's residence. In that place, this particular room was situated right behind Swami's residence. And we went there. And immediately my mother thought he must go to Kasturi Mama's place, because my mother had lot of respect. My mother and father had lot of respect for Kasturi Mama. He was almost like a big brother for her. So whenever they went to Puttaparthi, first thing they would do is to go to Kasturi Mama's house and do namaskaram there and get his blessings also. So my mother and father said, let's go to Kasturi Mama's place and tell him why we are here. And so we went to his house. So he said, oh, what made you all come here? And fortunately, you come on a very auspicious day. My mother said, we do not know in which place we are, which day, which hour. Nothing is in my mind. All we know is we are at Swami's feet. So we have come with this problem in our mind. So she explained everything to Kasturi Mama. And he said, do not worry. You have come to the right place. He will take over now. Don't worry about your daughter's health. And he went inside. He brought some tulsi leaves. I believe actually every day he would go to Swami's residence, go up. He had permission to go to Swami directly to his room. And he would place tulsi leaves at Swami's padam, do namaskaram, and take it as a prasadam and bring it back. Those tulsi leaves, he gave it to me and said, you take this, you will be all right. Swami will take care of you. You have come to the right place. Don't worry about anything now. And very auspicious day. You know what day it was? It was Vata Savitri Vratam. That is Savitri Satyavan story. Most of the people must be knowing. So Savitri got back Satyavan from death. So here, I think my husband got me back from death. That's all. The reverse has happened. Yeah, that was all his sankalpa. Anyway. Then, but after that, after meeting Kasturi Mama, we went and sat. Although those days, this Kul 1000 was not there, nothing was there. It was just sand, and it was scorching sun, and it was midday, 2 o'clock. But we thought we must go and sit down there, pray. And we didn't expect Swami to come there at least at that time of the day, because we knew bhajan was over, darshan was over, and Swami would have finished. In fact, people around even told us Swami just finished his lunch, gave darshan, and went to his room. But we thought, no, we are going to sit here and pray for a while. And we sat on that hot mud, hot sand, just praying to Swami that he should come and bless us. Really, I cannot tell you, Swami did come. Swami did come. He came to me straight, where I, of course, gents sit in one side, ladies sit in another place. Myself and my mother, we are seated in one place. My father a little away. He just came straight to both of us. There weren't many people at all, because most of the people would have left after darshan. He came straight to me, and my mother had tutored me very well. She had told me in very clear words, Shailu, we are going to put a party. Hereafter in your life, in this Janma, Swami is your mother. I am not your mother anymore. Swami is going to be your mother. So whatever you have in your mind, whatever you want to share with Swami, you tell as though you are telling your mother. So do not tell me anything here afterwards. It's all you, between you and Swami. So she had tutored me very well. Of course, at that point, I didn't think of anything else. And I could not control my emotions either. As I told you, in the hospital, I was really controlling myself. I wouldn't show it outside. But at that moment, the tears started pouring out of my eyes. And I started weeping, in fact, aloud. Then Swami comes to me, and you know what he says in Kannada? Yake? Alta idya? Ivaga naga time bandide. That means, why are you crying? The time has come for you to laugh and be happy. And you're crying now. Only those words he said, blessed us. And he said, I'll call you in the evening. That's all he said. He went away. He went inside. We did Padnamaskara. And we went to our room. And in the evening, there was Swami's discourse in the bhajan hall, main bhajan hall. There was only one bhajan hall there. So I sat through the discourse. I was listening to Swami. It was, Swami must have spoken for about an hour or little longer. I sat through. But of course, I had a little discomfort. I had stomach cramps coming. And because of these medicines, I had a lot of sores in my mouth, my tongue. And so, withstanding all this, I was just sitting and hearing Swami. And you know what Swami said at the end of his speech? He said, devotees have come from far. They want my blessing. They want to share with me all their worries. So I have to bless them. These are the very words that Swami said in public speech. And he said he's going to end the discourse. And he ended the discourse. And then we went and sat near the place where usually Swami calls everybody for instance. But again, we had a doubt in our mind whether will Swami call us, because Bhajan was over, darshan was over, discourse is over. It was about 8 o'clock in the evening, night. So we were wondering whether Swami will really call us. But he told us that I'll speak to you, I'll call you all. So we waited there, my father, my mother, and myself. And Swami came out of the bhajan hall and asked us to come into the interview room. Just the three of us, nobody else. So my mother had tutored me well. I knew exactly what to speak to Swami. So I fell at his feet and told Swami, these are the only words I told. Swami, I do not want to go back to Vellore anymore. Just this one sentence I told and fell at his feet. Then Swami saying, looking at me, ನೋಡು ನಿನಗೆ ಪುನರ್ಜನ್ಮ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಮುಗಿದೋಗಿತ್ತು, ನಿನಗೆ ಪುನರ್ಜನ್ಮ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಿ. Just once you have to go back to the hospital and they will themselves clear you, they will discharge you, then you can go back to Chennai. I know what your people are undergoing, what your husband is undergoing, what your son is undergoing, what your parents are undergoing, everything I am seeing. But I am your doctor, Punarjanma Kottidini. Everything was, and immediately he materialized Vibhuti and told my mother to give it to me thrice with water. This time it was a medicine for me. Every time I suppose Vibhuti first, Swami would be giving only with a sankalpa, as I told you. In my earlier satsang, I told you, which is sankalpam. And he said, you take this 3 times and you go back to the hospital. They will say that you are okay and they will send you home. So, of course, we felt so happy. And we returned. We had an X-ray taken in Bangalore because my Chittappa was a doctor. So we returned to Bangalore and we had an X-ray taken there. You know what miracle? Absolutely clear picture. Absolutely clear. That tumor, which had, of course, gone down in size, but had not fully gone. It was about half the size. This time, Swami's miracle, it was a completely clear picture which had come on. Then we soon went to Vellore Hospital. They wouldn't believe it. So they wanted X-rays to be taken in their machines. But you know what? That very night, when we reached CMC Hospital, they said, okay, we seem to be, she's a small girl yet, so I do not want to keep her in the hospital premises anymore. This surroundings and everything is so sickening. So you can very soon take up a accommodation outside the hospital. You can take her there and you can keep her there. So let us review the situation once again, and maybe some radium treatment may have to be given. So with those words, they sent me. And very soon the radiologist also cleared me and said, no, we are not going to consider any radium treatment right away. You go back to Chennai, you rest properly, have good food, everything good, be happy. Then probably you can come back again and we will see what has to be done further. For Swami's grace, I didn't have to go again to the hospital, at least CMC anymore. Then I came back to Chennai and very soon, of course, I had to be very careful because infection, because my body was very weak. I was prone to infections. So I was not supposed to go to any crowded places. But of course, I was in the house most of the time, or at the most go to the beach or park where there are not much of people around. And but at that time, my husband got a promotion and got a transfer to New Delhi office. So we were in a dilemma whether to accept that promotion and go to the New Delhi, or what next to do, because he was going on a promotion. So immediate reaction was, without Swami's permission, we are not doing anything. Because as you all know, New Delhi is a place where extremes of climates, because it's either very cold, very hot, sometimes sandstorms, all these things are quite a frequent occurrence there. So our thought was, we must get Swami's permission and only then accept this change. We went to Swami, all four of us. My son was also there, the three of us, and my parents also joined us. We went to Swami. Swami made us sit by his side. Swami was sitting in the chair, and myself and my husband just by his side, on either side, left and right. He kept both his hands on both our heads, and I think he must have given us all that power and that vibration, that energy, everything. I think he has passed it on to us. And he said, go to New Delhi, be happy. I'm sure you'll be very happy there. Do not worry about anything. And he told all the Ashtalakshmi's names. And in Telugu, he said, Jintane, something and all he said in Telugu, meaning say that I'm with you, I'm inside you, I'm above you, front of you, behind you. All these things he said in Telugu. And he said, do not worry. And he immediately materialized a locket for me, chain with a locket. And he said, go to Delhi, you will be very happy. So, of course, we went to Delhi. Of course, here doctors had advised me to get periodical tests done there also and under doctor's supervision, because the disease is such that it can recur any time. So my cousin, who was a IAS officer, he put me on to All India Institute of Medical Sciences in Delhi. And luckily, the director of All India Institute of Medical Science was my uncle. So we met with him, and he took me to the gynecological section. But there, the attention I received was not at all happy, not satisfactory, because they were all discussing within themselves, oh, how this girl has been affected with secondaries in the lungs, and how she has been cured. So all these, I think it's a really rare case for all of them to examine. So they were more interested in discussing the case within themselves than asking me why I had come. So this really pissed me off. So then my uncle said, okay, I'll put you on to another gynecologist, a private gynecologist who can give you further attention. So after some time, we met with her also. But what she had to tell was, look here, you are very young. This problem can recur any time. We cannot say it is fully out of your body. So it will be in the interest of your health. It's good to remove the uterus. Hysterectomy has to be done. Oh, this was something shocking to us. So my husband said, no, we are not going to just follow her advice. We must again take only Swami's blessings and only then go ahead. Then again we phoned up my parents, and they in turn met Swami. See, our fortunate thing was Swami was accessible to us every time we were in that position where Sharanagati, you remember? Swami had said, Anyatha Sharanam Nasti. So when there is surrender, Swami was there. That avatar was there to attend to us, waiting, in fact, to hold our hands. So immediately my father and mother met Swami, and Swami said again, Yake yochne, yake, yen yochne. Why are you worried? Then my father explained all this, and he said, no, don't go to any doctors. Don't go to any doctors in New Delhi. Just leave her alone. She'll be okay. But see, that faith which really I must appreciate my parents and more so my husband, because he just thought we must go by Swami's words, nothing else. Nothing else is going to bother us anymore. We will just follow Swami's instructions. So again, Swami materialized Vibhuti for me and sent it for me. And I took it. And in fact, I don't know how many of you all know about Swami's visits to New Delhi. Every summer he would visit. I don't know, summer, I don't know when exactly he would visit. But it was all the discourses and darshan and everything was in Talkatora Gardens. It was a huge garden in New Delhi. So I've been there twice. In fact, first time I went, I was not very close to. I mean, I was not sitting in the bhajan group or anything because I never went to any bhajan sessions in the organization sense. I would attend all private bhajans, but not with the organization, because although they would have asked me to meet with Mr. Sohan Lal, who was the state president of New Delhi, but I had not met with them. So I had not gone as a bhajan singer there. Then, of course, every summer, what would happen was all three of us would make it a point because, as you know, Delhi climate is very, very oppressive in the summer. So we would make it a point to come to the south, be with my parents for a while, with my in-laws for a while, and then get back. So this time also, we came. And every time we came down south, we would definitely go to Swami, get his blessings, and then only leave. And every time we go, Swami would invariably give us interview also. That is also I think our blessing. I mean, that is our luck. Yeah. And one such occasion, we have all gone inside the interview room. My little son, he did not discuss anything with us at all, what he was going to speak to Swami or what he wanted to ask Swami, nothing we knew. Swami was speaking to us all Adhyatmic subjects, and he was looking at Amma and telling her again and again, and looking at my husband and telling him, I've given your wife Punarjanma. Everything was over. And he was even describing the place where the tumor had come. Left lung, near the heart, he says. Swami is describing the tumor was near the heart. So this much of assurance he's giving. And the interview was over and he was distributing prasadam. And immediately he turns to my son and asks him, Yen Beko, what do you want? You know what he said? Suddenly he says, Swami, I want a brother to play with. This is what he's asking Swami. Well, I was advised not to have any more children because the medicines I had taken were that powerful. Anything could happen. So I was not asked not to have any more children. But this boy is asking Swami for a brother to play with. Swami is turning to my mother and saying, ಅವಳಿಗೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಹುಷಾರಾಗಲಿ. That means let her get completely well. Then you will get your brother. Exactly like this, Swami says. And within seconds, Swami turns around and asks my son, Swami is asking my son, okay, you are asking for a brother. How do you want to call him? What are you going to name him? He first thought of some few names, but he was not very happy saying all this. And immediately, you know what my son saying? Swami, you tell the name. Such a small boy. Swami Sankalpam, he's making him say, I think. That's all I can say, because that's such a small boy, thinking that Swami will give a name for his brother. I cannot imagine. So Swami immediately turns, looks at my mother, laughs and says, Sai Kiran, Sai Kiran, Sai Kiran. 3 times he told this name, Sai Kiran, Sai Kiran, Sai Kiran. But actually she was born 3 years later. So Swami named, in fact, it was a girl actually. I had a daughter. But Swami named her Sai Kiran. And as you know, Sai Kiran has no gender. So maybe that way Swami was, some sankalpa was like that. And then looking at my mother, she said, Sai Kiran, Sai Kiran, Sai Kiran. And my mother was said, Atraund Kalanu Bharata Swami. That means, will such a day come, Swami, in my daughter's life? And of course, we all left Puttaparthi and we were back in New Delhi. And second time, Swami's visit to New Delhi. This time, I was sitting in the bhajan group. Somebody had told me that there was going to be a selection for bhajan singers. And so I went there. It was in not Sohanlal's house, but Sundar Singh. Sundar Singh was another devotee of Swami. So it was held there. And those who know Shamala Sheshamani, I'm sure all Bangaloreites will know Sheshamani and Shamala Sheshamani. She was one of the judges. So I sang. Then they selected me. So I was sitting in the front row, the bhajan group. Swami comes after flag hoisting. He came straight to me and blessed me. At that time, in fact, I want to share this with you all. I was carrying my second child. So Swami blessed me completely. Swami's robes were touching my clothes, actually. He came that close to me. He didn't speak, nor did I take Pada Namaskar because I know what rules are. So, but he nicely blessed me and went away. And very soon, we were, we got to transfer back to Chennai. So we returned, but then again, the first thing we wanted to do was seek Swami's blessings. So we went to Puttaparthi as a family. My husband, myself, my son, my parents. And immediately seeing me, Swami said, Swami describes how the surgery should be, how my delivery should be. Everything he's telling, he's giving instructions to my mother. This is how it should be done. So then when we met with our Dr. Indra Ramurthy had returned from her foreign trip. So we went to her. This is exactly what she is also suggesting. Whatever Swami was suggesting, this is exactly what she are also suggesting. And then I had my second child, and she was so, she had no words. When she saw the baby in such a beautiful, healthy condition with no other deformity or nothing, such a sweet child, she asked my mother, what did your Baba say? What did he say? Then my mother explained everything, and she immediately said, it's a miracle. I am yet to see such a case who has had such a gynec problem once in her younger days, and again going for a surgery, and then getting secondaries in the lungs and treated with all very powerful radioactive drugs, and having a child so healthy. I'm yet to see a case like this in my medical history. And then, of course, we went to Swami. Swami named her Ahladini. As you all know, Ahladini means she was born on a Friday. And Swami said, I'll name her Ahladini this time, because she is giving you a lot of joy to your family now. So I'm going to call her Ahladini here afterwards. So that is how my daughter was born. And now I will share, of course, the little experiences we had with Swami. That is, once we had an interview. Of course, in the middle, when my son was, we wanted to perform his Brahmopadesha. But he was so adamant. He said, Periyamma, he would call my mother Periyamma. He would tell always, if he is to undergo Brahmopadesha, he was very adamant. Again, he said, if I have to go this, have this Punal ceremony done, Swami should do it for me. None other than Swami. I'm not going to do it from any other priest or anything, anybody. My mother was quite, amazed. It's not so easy to, get Swami for all these things and whether it will really happen or not. We waited for 1 or 2 days. Swami called us. Then my mother said, Swami, my grandson wants you to perform Brahmopadesha. He said, okay, come tomorrow. When do you want to perform? Then I immediately told Swami, Swami, whenever you say. So I never thought of anybody, any other relations, whether they are present or not. I just did not think of those things at all. I just told Swami, Swami, whenever you are ready, we are ready. Then Swami immediately said, come tomorrow. So we all went. We knew that Kasturi Mama had told us when such a Swami has agreed to do this, we usually take fruits for Swami and garlands. And this garland and all is made in a special way where there are some special people to make these garlands. So all that Kasturi Mama had told us. So we took all that. We were waiting outside the interview room. So Swami called us. Again, my son was sitting right in the middle, myself on one side, my husband on the other. So he materialized that Yajnopavitam, that is the Punal, and explained all the knots in that. And he asked my husband to hold one end of the Yajnopavitam, and Swami was holding the other end. And he explained the whole Gayatri mantra, what it meant, everything, who is Gayatri, everything he explained in detail. And he made my husband put it for my son. His name is Pramod. And of course, before we entered, of course, Swami saw all this garland and fruits kept near his room. And he said, "A marketo, akkada pettu." He laughingly told us and asked us to enter the interview room. So he didn't want any of those things. He said, come with an with open hands. Don't come with things loaded in your hands. So of course, that was a very pleasant thing we had. And then another unforgettable experience was when we went to Ooty. That time, of course, I was undergoing a lot of pain in my back. And with this pain, I was sitting in Sundaram doing bhajan and all. In fact, in one of Swami's visits also, after flag hoisting, he just straight away came to me and said, "Hey, Gideon." I just didn't know what to reply him also. I started crying there, right in front of Swami. I started crying and I'm sitting in the front row in Sundaram. And then, of course, Swami goes and tells in Bangalore, Sumne Vadartane. His daughter is all right. She's quite okay. She's sitting in the front row and doing bhajan. She's singing. So just to assure my father that nothing is wrong with her, she's quite okay. Don't worry. So this is the assurance he was giving us. And then, but in spite of that, I had lot of unbearable back pain. So we decided to go to Parthi. Of course, there Swami gave me vibhuti, he gave interview, everything. But nothing worked. We were not happy. That pain was not subsiding at all. So we went back to Mysore, and the moment we came to know that Swami had gone to Ooty, we decided to go after him again to Ooty also. So we decided to go there. Myself, my mother, my son, my daughter, we are all sitting under a tree. My husband was also there, my father. He comes straight to my husband and asking him, "Where's your better half?" So he says, "Swami, they are sitting there." Okay, tomorrow I will call you. So next day morning, he called just the 4 of us. In fact, 6 of us. The 4, our family and my parents. Just our family alone in Ooty. And he had an excellent Sambhashan, Sparshan, Pada Namaskaram. My goodness, I cannot say what all he has given us. And that was the time when my son wanted to do his engineering only from IIT. He was also, he's a very adamant fellow. He was very decided in his mind that if he does engineering, it should be from IIT. So he told very frankly to Swami, Swami, I want to study from IIT. And people say it is very difficult to get into IIT. That also he told Swami. Swami says, Ellarigu kashta adre, ninigu kashta na. That means if everybody is finding it difficult, does that mean it is difficult for you also? Not necessarily. Neenu kashtapadu, nee try madu. These are the words he said. You try, you do your best. So he also got that blessing, and later on he did well in his IIT entrance exam. He got into IIT Madras. He passed out of IIT Madras. And Swami did Aksharabhyasam for my daughter also. And seeing her, he gave her a pat on her back and said, good girl, good girl. These are the words he told. And she was wearing a pavade, that means a small skirt. And Swami was distributing vibhuti from a basket. So he finished giving to all of us. He totally forgot my daughter. My daughter was not happy. So my mother was, she was trying to call out, Swami, Swami, nanige, nanige. That means, give me also, Swami, give me also, Swami. Swami didn't hear in the beginning. But my mother was trying to stop her, saying loudly. So she was trying to give some of her vibhuti packets to her. Then my daughter was not happy, not satisfied. She said, no, Swami must give me. So Swami turned around, came back, and this girl is showing her pavade like this. And Swami put a few packets onto her pavade. And we got that blessing also. So that is something unforgettable in our life. And then, of course, another thing I want to share with you all, since a little time is left, I thought I'll take some more time. Is it okay, Venkat?
Yeah, go ahead. Absolutely. No problem.
Yeah. So this is what happened to my mother, of course. See, as office bearers, they are supposed to attend all the conferences, everything, wherever it is held. So one such conference, All India Conference, was being held, I think, in Rajahmundry, in Andhra Pradesh. And my mother was expecting invitation as office bearers. They would all receive invitations, but it was not received. Then when they met Swami, my mother asked, Swami, we have not got any invitation. So then Swami says, no, don't worry. You will get special invitation. Special invitation, I believe, is going to she's going to receive special invitation. My mother was so happy. Oh, Swami is going to send a special invitation. Maybe we are his special invitees. So she was just sitting quiet, waiting for the special invitation to arrive. So this was the period when my delivery was, confinement was nearing, the date was nearing. And there was a call from us saying that doctor had given us the time because it was going to be a cesarean. They had fixed the time and everything. So naturally, we wanted my parents to be by my side at that time. So this was the special invitation that Swami has given her. And when my mother had an occasion to ask Swami, you said you will give us a special invitation, and this is what we are told, we are asked to do. We are now going to Chennai. Of course, she was not very happy because she was not able to attend the conference. But you know what Swami told her? Look here, you are a mother now. You have come to the stage. This is a stage. Life is a stage. And you have to act your part. You cannot just say, I'm not going to act my part as a mother. You have to enact that part to the best of your ability. So now, as a mother, your responsibility is now to go to Chennai and give all your help and everything to your daughter who needs it most. So go there. So this is again a lesson to us. You know, many a times we think that, oh, I'm not able to do this, I'm not able to do that. But at the same time, we must remember Swami's words. So everything is done with a particular sankalpa by Swami. That's all I can summarize that way. That's all Swami sankalpa, and Swami has a definite this thing from his. He knows what to do, when to do, and we should have that mindset to take it all in equanimity, whether good or bad. That surrender, that unshakable faith and belief is what we should be asking Swami to give us. And that too, many a time Swami has said, Swami, nange manas nimmadi beku. That means give me peace of mind. Swami has openly said that you must bring it upon yourself. I cannot give you peace of mind. You must bring it that upon yourself. This is what Swami has said. So I think everything, unless we take one, Swami himself said, if you take one step towards me, I will take 100 to you. So I'm sure with this faith and this belief, all of us, I'm sure will receive the benefit. I mean, we can reap the benefits of Swami's blessings. And yeah, with I think. Oh my God.
Yeah, you've turned off the video. You
Yeah.
can turn
Oh.
it back on.
Yeah.
Just
Just give me a. Yeah.
You're good.
Yeah.
You're good.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
good.
Yes. So I think with these words, I think I will say bye-bye to you now. And, I would
My
like to hear more speakers speaking.
I would leave with as usual one request for one last bhajan, and then we'll sign off.
Okay. Yeah.
Any old bhajan.
Yeah. I can't call this very old bhajan, but a very, very beautiful bhajan, which I have sung for the Sundaram cassette. पालिंचवैया परमेश्वरा पालिंचवैया परमेश्वरा करुणिंपवे स्वामी करुणामया करुणिंपवे स्वामी करुणामया पालिंचवैया परमेश्वरा तल्लियु नीवे तंड्रियु नीवे దిక్కులేని వారికి దైవము నీవే తల్లియు నీవే తండ్రియు నీవే దిక్కులేని వారికి దైవము నీవే నీ పాదము నమ్మితి నన్ను బ్రోవవయ్యా నీ పాదము నమ్మితి నన్ను బ్రోవవయ్యా కనుపించవయ్యా నా సాయినాథ, కనుపించవయ్యా నా సాయినాథ, పాలించవయ్యా Karteshwara. I think it's a summarized the whole gist of whatever we have spoken.
I was just about to say that you took my words away. I think
I would like to hear it from you.
No, I was just saying what an apt bhajan to summarize the entire talk in just the 4 lines that go into the bhajan. I guess
తల్లియు నీవే తండ్రియు నీవే దిక్కులేని వారికి దైవము నీవే నీ పాదము నమ్మితి నన్ను బ్రోవవయ్యా. దట్ ఈస్ వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్. నీ పాదమే శరణాగతి, అన్యథా శరణం నాస్తి. వితౌట్ దట్ స్వామి విల్ నాట్ అప్లిఫ్ట్ యు అగైన్. That also you have to bear.
I think the whole beauty of how Swami reminds of these points is that we had Jayamma, who's the author of Anyata Sharanam Nasti, a few weeks earlier, and she's the speaker for the next week as well.
Oh, really?
It's part 2 of her talk, and how Swami is reiterating that Sharanagati is the best way where you stop the mind chatter, which is where he says the peace of mind is entirely in you, because you have to stop the chatter and it's not his job. But if you hold on to that feet, that chatter can be stopped, and that is the only recourse that you have. I think what is beautiful is the way everyone around you realized that the supreme Vaidishwaran is Swami himself. He creates it to test our how do I say, our faith in him. He allows us to go through the process of whatever our karmas are, to go through the pain, because he's not one who changes that, but he can always, with prayer and surrender, reduce the suffering, lessen the suffering. I think that is absolutely amazing and wonderful to hear from people like you, to have gone through the journey, to tell us now that conviction is all that we need forever in every moment of our lives. And I would say that the final bhajan was the summation of the entire journey of most of us. It's just that once in a while, when trouble comes our way, our faith gets tested. But if nothing tests our faith, then where are we going to go? The only way there is surrender and not even test our faith in that process.
Yes. And I want to tell you this also. I believe often Kasturi Mama used to tell my father, whenever Swami calls somebody Bangaru, he will really test you. And he himself, I believe, he used to tell my father, look here, it is like going near the sun. You know, it is impossible to bear that brightness, that heat, that everything. It's so difficult. Yet you have to survive, and that is not a small issue.
Sairam, and praying to Swami that we have many more like you coming every week to inspire us, to reiterate this firm conviction that surrender is the way forward. Samasta loka sukino bhavantu, samasta loka sukino bhavantu, samasta loka sukino bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Jai Bolo Bhagwan Shri Satya Sai Baba Ji ki Jai.
Jai.